Hey, this is Asha. Thanks for joining me in today's video. And what I want to share with you today is my #1 secret and trick to creating and producing a ton of videos very quickly. So stay tuned. I'm going to share with you this secret right now. All right, so everybody knows that creating more video content leads to a lot of great things, right? So if you have more content, or you just create more, you've got more content. More content leads to views, or searches, then views. Then from the views, you get subscribers. From the subscribers, you get customers, and so on and so forth. Now, if you look at your video creation process, how do you really create more videos? Well, it's to do the process faster, or to cut things out of the process, or to outsource the process. So those are the three ways to really get things done faster. So if I want to go faster, #1 is to do it faster. #2 is to go ahead and cut things out. And #3 is to outsource. Okay, so that's pretty much the only three ways. I mean, there's little tidbits or subsets of those, but today we're going to talk about cutting things out. And I'm going to talk about the #1 thing that I cut out, and that is here it is. When we look at the overall process, I'll just bypass a couple of these things. So let's just say you start with an idea, then you go ahead, and some people have a script, which, by the way, I've cut that out as well. So I don't usually run with scripts. But eventually you get into the filming stage. And then after the filming stage, you get into the editing stage. And this is where a lot of people get hung up on. Because remember, if you're filming a 20-minute video here, and now you have to edit, well, editing takes time because you slow things down, you add clips in. So this might be a 30 to 50-minute process for a 20-minute video. That's a lot of time if you basically are doubling up watching your video again and again. So if you can go ahead and take this and cut that out, that saves you a ton of time and ton of money, and you don't have to outsource that process. So what I've done is set up my filming segment or session or studio to really deal without any editing. So let's say I want to go ahead and pop up a subscribe button. I'll just go ahead and push a button, and here comes a subscribe button. Let's say I want to go ahead and hop on over to a different screen. Well, I could go ahead and do that by, let me just say, hey, I'll go ahead and pause this video by pushing a button real quick. So now we were paused, and now we're back into recording, but I'm on a whole nother screen. I just walked over a couple steps, and boom, you can see, okay, the editing process is right here. And it would normally take me a little bit of time to go through like a video like this, zoom in. I can go ahead and, cut some clips, and it does take time. And then you have to render and export and all that kind of stuff. So it does take a lot of time to do that. But if you have a setup where you could just go ahead and, let's say, push buttons for things to come in. Let's say I got another subscribe button right here. Boom, let's pop out another one. So here we go. Here's another button. Boom, it comes up and pops up. Let's say I want to go ahead and put out some numbers. I go ahead and do that. And here's #3. So if we're doing a top 10 countdown, I could go ahead and do that. I can flip to my face. I can flip to the corner. So there's many, many, many things that you could do. And ultimately, I could go ahead and flip to an overhead shot and camera here. And let's just go here. You'll be able to see some things right there. And then I could just zoom in on what I want. And I wanted to show you this really because what you could see is my other stream deck right here. And this is how I go ahead and control everything. So there's a little bit of a glare. But ultimately, it allows me to set things up right here that I could just push buttons. Where do I want to go? Do I want to pause the video? Do I want to pop in an intro? Do I want to kill the logo, not kill the logo? So there it is. Kill it, not kill it. There's a lot of cool things here that you could go ahead and set up. If you want to go to the ending, if you want to go ahead and hit other hotkey buttons, that's great. And I don't just have one. I actually have a couple of these. This one doesn't really reach as far, but here's another one that I have, and I have 2 more. And it just allows me to really control the whole process a lot better, to streamline it. If I have to pause all of a sudden and go to the glass screen, I can do that. So now if you look at your video creation process, what happens is okay, well, here's my video and here's my process. I go ahead, I go to one view, and I might go to another view and another view. And typically this is where you have your edits and cuts, or maybe a different thought or point. So in my case, I'm just constantly moving and getting rid of these edits and cuts during my filming process. And by cutting this editing process out, it allows me to really just streamline that process, and I don't have to pay someone. Let's just say you were looking to outsource that process, and it could be $20 an hour to $80 an hour, maybe much more. And if you had 100 hours of footage in your YouTube channel, well, that starts to become a lot of money. And yes, some of the software and equipment, each Stream Deck costs about $250, $120 if you're getting the smaller one. So they are a little bit cheaper if you're getting a smaller one. But here's a Stream Deck price, and I'll link these in the description there below, and also you could check out the Backstage Income website to see all the tools and resources that I have. Let's say you're looking at a camera. Well, even if you don't have the best camera, each camera might cost you, let's say, $600. And then plus you have a lens, because you need a lens on every camera. Then you need either a battery or some sort of power equipment. You need cords and cables. So all this starts to add up, and it multiplies, times 4. So here you are at $2,400, and it starts to become exponentially more expensive. But it does simplify your life and make things a lot easier, that this initial little bit of investment could save you a lot more in the long run if you're outsourcing that, or if you're just trying to save your own personal time and produce many more videos. So I hope you see the power behind really setting up things and cutting out the editing process, because you can see how powerful it can be to really speed up your workflow and produce many more videos in a shorter amount of time. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me. Remember to hit the subscribe button right here, or go ahead and get some of the freebies that I have on my website. There are free downloads that you just go ahead to backstageincome.com and grab them by clicking the link over here. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time.